Hey everyone, Steve Wilson here, and this is my M1 iPad Pro artist review. So, this is the new iPad Pro and Apple's most powerful iPad, with its biggest updates being to the display and the processor powering it. So the changes for artists are going to be minor in comparison to previous iPads. Starting with the new display, which is a 12.9-inch Liquid Retina XDR display, which is mini LED. The resolution is 2732 by 2048, and it still has 120Hz ProMotion as well. All this means is you're getting an excellent canvas that will show your work with great detail in deep inky blacks, which is almost on par with OLED screens. Now, with the new mini LED display, it hits 1000 nits at full brightness. And when HDR content is being displayed, it hits 1600 nits, which is crazy bright when HDR content is being displayed, meaning outdoor drawing in the sun will be no problem at all, and watching movies, of course, will be no problem at all as well with brightness that goes that high. Now, the main drawback that I had with the new mini LED display is that if you pay particularly close attention to the edges of the screen, it's slightly recessed down some, and there's this odd blooming effect that tends to happen where it gives a double bezel-like appearance. You can notice this on dark backgrounds or bright backgrounds, but it is noticeable. It's nothing that hinders your work, but it's something that caught my eye when I was drawing. The next biggest update to the iPad Pro using the M1 processor, of course, is the processor itself, making the iPad extremely fast and capable of handling all tasks thrown at it. Now, the problem with that is that the iPad doesn't utilize all the power of this processor, and maybe during Apple's WWDC event may change this to enable you to do more with the device. You also get two different models to choose from the 8GB of RAM or 16GB of RAM, as well as having 5G included and having the ability to get 1 to 2 terabytes of storage. And the Apple Pencil is also unchanged, which is still a good thing. It delivers excellent precision and 9 milliseconds of latency. Now, for my overall thoughts, I believe this is one of Apple's best iPads, of course, because it's one of the latest and newest iPads. But I do believe Apple should definitely take a page out of Samsung's book with making something similar to Samsung DeX to make the iPad OS more capable with the M1 chip, possibly making a desktop type of thing for the M1 powered iPads. This way you could be able to probably use like desktop class software on the iPad, enabling some touch. I do get that it would cannibalize their sales of their Mac, but I still think this would be a good thing of pushing innovation forward. And I think, just in personal opinion, Apple's hitting a wall in the terms of speed. You only get so much faster than the competition, to where speed isn't necessarily a definitive deciding thing for a person, especially when it comes to purchasing things for artists. As long as it's starting to be fast enough to where tasks aren't taking forever, then you've hit the wall. And I think this is definitely where Apple's at right now. They've made things so fast, so capable, but the software is not utilizing it, making it very hard to make it a desirable item unless you want to be the person with the latest and greatest thing from Apple. Now, as an artist, do I see this as a reasonable device to purchase? No, not necessarily, because I believe the previous versions of the iPads, which are cheaper and just as fast, well, not just as fast, it's not as fast as the newest iPad with M1, but it runs the same software. You get plenty of enough updates. The Apple Pencil hasn't changed at all, meaning there's no upgrade to that for artists, meaning that you'll be better off purchasing a previous device, not unless, like I said, you just want to have the latest and greatest of Apple. And as I stated before, hopefully during one of Apple's WWDC events, that they'll announce some type of software update for the M1 iPad lineup that would bring more features, something at least difference maker when it comes to utilizing the power in these chips. It houses a lot of power, and you would hope for it to do more, but it's still, at the end of the day, just an iPad. So my recommendation is, if you truly want the latest and greatest from Apple and you want to have the best looking display that you can find that's particularly close to OLED, then yes, you can spring for getting the new iPad, at least a 12.9 inch, since that's the one that does have the mini LED display, which does have its drawbacks because of that slight blooming issue that's going on with it right now. And otherwise than that, updated processor, which doesn't really push the envelope for artists, but you will have the latest iPad. So in my thoughts and opinions, I believe purchasing a previous iPad will get you just as far as getting the new iPad is, unless they update the software to utilize the power that's with the M1 chip. So with that being said, I'll let the video play out to the very end so you can see my process like I always do. And this video was a little bit shorter than normal because nothing in particular has really changed for artists when it comes to the newest iPad. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you check out my social medias in the description box down below if you want to check out more of my artwork. And peace.